Welcome back to Launch Your Light, a podcast for the mystical and magical woman here to share her soul purpose. Ladies and gentlemen, we are back for another Astro and Energy Report with Jayme and Inese. Welcome back to the show, my friend.
Thank you so much for having me. It's been wild. So let's talk about everything, all things wild. Like we are already in September. So today, as we record, so August was its own like kind of thing, like a whole thing. So but maybe you want to share a little bit of what the energies, and then we just jump into September because
Yeah.
September starts big. Like today we have Uranus stationing retrograde, tomorrow Pluto. So all these big planets changing like energies and going retrograde it's a lot. And I'm glad that background we have Virgo season, which kind of is very, very grounding. So we'll go into all the things. But yeah, September starts with big energies like the first week. And the second week kind of mellows into Venus trines Pluto. So that's going to be beautiful. So how was your September? You want to share a little bit, just
Or
energetically?
August. Yeah.
August. Yeah, sorry.
August was the plot twist of the century. Like, oh my God. I mean, I feel like this year we were set up to understand that there was going to be a lot of changes and surprises and plot twists this year. But for me,
Mhm.
it was August, and like what I was going through in my own life and my own family life and stories I was hearing from people, I was like, I I, I can't take any more. Like, how crazy can this month end so this can stop? Like, I would just even the shit going on between me and then my other friends, we'd sit on the phone and just kind of like almost speechless, just like I didn't see this coming. Like I did not have this on my bingo card for this year. So, oh my God, I hope it wasn't that crazy for you, but it just feels like even like you can see like globally in the stage and like
Yeah.
nationally in our countries, like shit was just like, whoa, what? Wait, what? Holy shit. Huh? You know?
Yeah, it was definitely like a lot of things happening. It was intense. It was constantly like even the solar flares and all of those energies were constantly hitting. And there was it wasn't really, I keep myself to myself. Like in August, usually I don't like August. There is an energy of like, I feel a little bit heavy.
Hmm.
I'm so happy it's September. I am celebrating
Hmm.
so much. I don't enjoy August because I don't know, there's a type of heaviness
Hmm.
that comes with August. And we had Mercury retrograde, so Mercury turned direct a few days ago, July
Yeah.
28th. So we are feeling also that energy kind of little shift a little bit into, because we were retrogrades. We have many planets in retrograde, especially with Uranus turning today and then Pluto tomorrow. So there's a lot of internal work, like things that are happening on the outer level but also internally. So it's kind of a lot to handle, like internally and externally, I think, for the world. Like
Yeah.
looking out in the world sometimes was not an option for me. It's like I have
Mm,
my own stuff, like the dream time
mm.
sometimes was oh my, like, so, but because Uranus has a conjunction with Pleiades, and in Pleiades, like it's very close. It's when Uranus is at 27 degrees. It's going retrograde today in Taurus at 27 degrees, and the Pleiades cluster is 28 to 29 of Taurus. And I think, if I'm not mistaken, I might be mistaken, it's like 50 light years away. So what we're getting is downloads and kind of dips into this higher consciousness, into other dimensions. And like for some people there's going to be awakening, there's
Mm.
shifts internally a lot. So there's a layer why a lot of light workers, and maybe even just anybody, could feel a lot of exhaustion, because this high frequency energy is streaming in. So it's harder for us to deal. Then everything out, like normal things, become harder to deal with, because there's a lot of frequentially frequentially happening. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I love that. Wait, say what that transit was again with the Pleiades.
So Uranus is stationing retrograde. So one thing, like let's start with that. So September 1, today, as we talk, Uranus is stationing retrograde in Taurus and 27 degrees. So Pleiadian
Gotcha.
Pleiadian cluster is 28, 29 degrees. So it's 1 degree apart.
Gotcha.
So it's not even, so it's been there like all for a while because Uranus moves slowly. Uranus is there from 2000. Oh, today's my brain's not gonna serve me as best as I okay, let me see. No, from 2018, Uranus is in Taurus. So it's a slow-moving planet, but now it's close to the end. So
Mm.
it's 7 degrees.
2025, right? Isn't it in is your Uranus in Taurus till 2025? 2018 to 2025 or something?
2025. No, that's the retrograde. I think. Oh my God, let me, sorry, just
No, take your time, because I know our
where's
listeners
my
love
Uranus?
this stuff.
So no, January Uranus retrograde is until January 2025, but then
What?
no,
The
yeah,
retrograde is till 2025?
so next year. Yeah.
Oh God, it's next year.
Yeah.
That feels
Well,
so
but
far away, and it's next
no, it's
year.
like three, it's what? It's 4 months? Yeah, 4 months, 5 months away. So yeah, it's a slow-moving planet. Like many of us have Uranus retrograde in our personal birth charts, like just because of these
Oh, how
slow-moving
long
planets.
it is, yeah. But you know what's
Go,
crazy?
go.
Do you
Mm.
remember? I remember in 2018 when it was like, Uranus is shifting into Taurus. This is gonna be crazy. And now it's almost over. And I'm like, where did that time go? Who are we? What are we doing?
Yeah,
But if you think about all those themes that we talked that were so heavy back in that 2018, talking about the
yeah,
next 7 years, it's all happened. It's all like
yeah.
random acts, technology, money, material stuff, the way we make money, ooh, ladies and gentlemen, think back over the last 7 years.
Power states.
When does it? Yeah,
Just
yeah, you pull
seeing.
updates. Oh no, our
Exactly.
listeners, there's a whole section of our listeners that are like geeks for this stuff. So,
And I am too, and I have
yeah.
most of the things on my wall, like even retrograde dates and all of that, except Uranus for some reason. So, 2031. So this is because the Ingress in Taurus will last for around 7 years and 2031. So it's still 6 years.
Wait, when did Uranus go into Taurus? I thought it went into Taurus in 2018.
Yes.
And then it's there till when?
So 2031.
No, that would be a long time. That would be how long are they in the planet? I thought it was there till 25.
7 year transit in Taurus.
Wouldn't that be 2018, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25? This is where this is a perfect example of two Capricorns on a
Uranus enters
podcast that are
transit on July 2025. I apologize. What is wrong? Like, this
no, this
actually,
is so good. They'll see it like
I'm so
they're
sorry. I wish you
don't be
would,
sorry.
like,
This is
I
behind the
wish you
scenes.
would,
What?
yes, cut this out. I can't have this. It's because English Taurus will last for around 7 years until 20. Maybe it's a mistake. I don't know. But most of my dates are in front of my eyes, and now it reminded the only planet the big planet that I don't have all the dates of retrogrades in my face is Uranus. So
Of
this is a good.
course. This is
Anyway, yeah, because it makes sense, obviously,
well,
because
what's it
Uranus
go into next? Does it go forward? Does it go backwards?
it goes normal. It goes normally it's gonna go into Gemini.
Oh,
Uranus
so
in Gemini. So
oh,
it's gonna feel more at home because Uranus in Taurus. Taurus is a slow, steady sign, and
mm,
such a temperamental planet as Uranus, and change and unexpected and wants innovation. Taurus likes to be status quo. Taurus, like in a way, so there is this push and pull, and now we'll see as Uranus goes retrograde, we will we are moving forward with a lot of things. Like there's a lot of new things in cryptocurrencies and all
hmm
these kind of like the way we view workforce and resources and
mm,
course themes. But there's also, in order to move forward and create new structures for and more equality, which Uranus wants, and more equal resource distribution, all of those big things, Taurus themes across planet, we need to look at how we can do it. So retrogrades is really good, even though Uranus is always going to bring unexpected things. So it can be erratic,
Yeah.
it can be it's quick change. It can be for good or for what we can look at as bad, but the bad, like the things have to be kind of crumble in order for something new can be created. So, and often it's not pretty, as we've
Yeah.
seen on the stage of the world.
So it is in retrograde for its last leg. Not, it
Oh,
still
it's
will
not
have
going to be,
time.
there's going to be more. Yeah. Yeah,
It
it's
will go
last
back.
retrograde. Yeah. So I
When is it
am
retrograde till? And would you say January of 2025?
January 30th. Yeah.
Okay. And then it will be direct again for the last few months of that transit.
Yeah. Yes. I wish I would have prepared the dates. I always prepare the dates,
No,
but
I
I
think
don't
this is good because people are seeing like we are legit two Capricorns,
know.
mamas. It's Sunday. We're doing
Yeah.
the show because we fucking love this show and we love to sneak away to our rooms and
Mhm.
talk about the things we love,
Yeah, and
right?
I'm going to
And
see my son immediately after we finish this. So I'm like,
yes.
okay.
Yes. Okay. But I think this retrograde talk is good because there's a lot going on retrogrades right now. And in our
Yeah.
country, that's why I'm like, we need to hear these messages because shit's heating up over here. I know it's heating up over in your land as well. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like things are going on, and these retrogrades are actually perfectly timed because they're just
Yeah.
dishing up what we really need to look at and slowing us down in ways we need to like slow down to look at what's going on globally,
Yeah.
community, and home. An
Exactly.
Another retrograde, I feel like I know we're just going to be all over the place today, and that's great and beautiful.
Oh, I think we're going good. It's just
Great.
like my capability of process today. I did a lot of looking at notes and looking at dates. There's so many dates, and there's always that one. There's like, oh, but okay. Okay,
Wait,
go on.
can I ask? I'm curious about, because we're Capricorn, I'm curious about this whole frickin' Pluto going back into Capricorn for
Capricorn.
another
Yeah.
retrograde before that fucking moves on. And the memes are killing me softly for their like for all the cardinal signs and all us Capricorns after a 16-year
16, yeah. So that's
transit.
happening tomorrow. So
Oh,
so Uranus, no, Pluto now re-enters Capricorn. It's been in retrograde in Aquarius since May 2nd. And now it's moving into Capricorn until November 19th. I know all my Capricorn dates at least. Okay.
dude, you know everything.
So
That's why you're on this show.
yeah. So the Pluto represents riches. So we've been in kind of this. So I was contemplating this. I was contemplating back to 2000. When did it start? 2008. It's been in Capricorn. And if we look back, I was talking also to my friend, and she's like, oh, wow, these themes. So we're going back. We've been into this realm of more, it's more active, it's mind, Uranus, it's things. And now we're going back into Capricorn where we've been for the last 16 years. We've
Hmm.
learned the lessons, especially Capricorns. And my sun is at 27th degree, so I'm gonna still feel this, but it's kind of like a graduation, like I think I've
Hmm.
seen one of the others. But Libra, Aries, Cancer, all the cardinal signs, we feel this energy as a big, huge closure. It's
Mm.
like stepping in. It's also like I see the visual, like stepping into, like when you have, like let's say middle school or school, and you go back, like you graduated in a few years, you go back and you look, oh, everything
Mm.
is so small. I've been there, I've done that.
Yeah.
Good memories, and there's memories that you never want to experience again. And that's a little bit like graduating from Capricorn. So I invite everyone who is a Capricorn, who has a stellium in Capricorn, moon rising, North Node, like something that's really felt, to really understand for what it is, because there's really riches in anything that Pluto touches. So the area of your chart that is Capricorn, that falls in Capricorn has been completely transformed. Pluto always transforms everything. It touches permanently.
Mm.
We don't always feel it as in a daily basis because it's a very slow moving planet. Um, but it's been a lot. Do you want to comment a little bit on the last 16 years?
Yeah, because I am a perfect example of the person that's in the blender of what the fuck of
Yeah,
this Pluto Capricorn transit. And like this whole like retrograding in it going back in the last
yeah.
bit and the last degrees of something is
Mhm.
always like the like the
Yeah.
pepper grinder of it
Mhm.
sometimes, you know what I mean? And of
Yeah.
course mine is like themed like death, rebirth, transformation, right? And that's Pluto too,
Hmm.
right? So, but I'm looking back.
Power. I will add a
Yeah.
power. If we go deeply into because Pluto will expose fears, and
Yeah.
Capricorn is structures, beliefs, like that. Yeah, that's what comes up first. There's power into going deep into facing our fears,
Mm.
and maybe belief structures, like programming structures, like that all is coming up for me as well.
Mm.
Hey, what do I really truly believe? And that's the structure of my life within I operate, but that's not necessarily true anymore for me. Not anymore, but I can see past that, and my perspective has expanded. So I can say, okay, I don't need that story anymore. And a lot of that, like the ruler of Capricorn, Saturn, is in Pisces, which is also in retrograde at the moment,
Wow.
as we speak. So there's a lot at and Neptune is also in Pisces. So there's a lot of dissolving the old timelines, letting go of things, forgiving, forgetting. So there's a lot of like
Woo.
this mud, like we just washing it off, like all these like I saw years ago. I saw this image in a dream, like there was these shackles coming off of people as like it was really powerful. I remember to this day.
Cool.
That's how I see, because Capricorn is structures and like governments and all of that. And we've seen it change and shift in a really like Pluto exposing the
Yeah.
dark side of what's governing our world. And people are starting to understand that not everything is conspiracy theory. There's a lot
Hmm.
of truth to
Yeah.
truth. Like the truth is being exposed, and
Yeah.
that's the of the Pluto and that the power we take back. Okay, that's my little rant.
No, this is good. I'm going back to for anyone. I mean, it doesn't matter what sign you are. It doesn't matter if you're a cardinal sign. It doesn't
Yeah.
matter if you're Capricorns. Like obviously, we're at the top of the mountain. I feel like getting exposed by this, let's say.
Hmm.
Like right, like walking up the mountain just to give in a visual. But for anyone to kind of go back and say, since 2008, what have I learned? Like what
Yeah.
has been reborn for me on anything? Anything from like right the beliefs to your I would say I will always bring up the soul purpose aspect. I feel like this was a
Absolutely.
good transformational time for people with soul
Yeah.
purpose. As Pluto going into Aquarius is gonna be another phenomenal time for people to realize, what am I here on this planet for?
Hmm.
How am I part of this collective of new living, new ideas, new life, you know?
Absolutely. Yeah.
And I feel like we're in that, like you're saying, like graduation ceremony, kind of looking at that. Because think back to 2008. Like for me, I just, I've been really in this myself, and I'm like, 2008, I was graduating college, and the economy, with the market collapsed. So we all
Hmm.
got
Yeah.
out of school, had degrees, and they were like, yes, sorry, none of you are getting jobs. Good luck. So I took all my money and went to fucking Europe. LOL. As one does when the economy crashes. I'm just kidding. But I was like, fuck this. I'm out of here. Spent all my money,
Yeah.
came back and got a waitressing job. And since then, have climbed and clawed and crawled my way up fucking ladder after ladder to glass ceiling to glass ceiling. That was me. I was just like, fuck it. I'm going for the shot. Okay, the economy crashed. I don't care. I got a waitressing job,
Yeah.
paid all my bills, and then was like, obviously I'm bored AF because I am who I am. And
Yeah.
got into sales instead of international business and travel and tourism, which anyone with a degree that was not of need at that moment was absolutely not getting a job anywhere kind of vibe. And that's
Yeah.
what started my sales, my quote unquote sales,
Yeah.
corporate jobs. And I crushed it. And I crushed it. And it was so hard. And I got my way to from Boston to Vegas. Hard, hard, hard fucking jobs. And I did it and I crushed it
Yeah.
and I climbed and then got promotions to being running and being the manager of Times Square locations at my job and got moved across the country again. Got bored with that, crushed it, went for another job in New York City that was so hard. I was crying in train station bathrooms after
Oh,
leaving the training that had like a 90% attrition rate and only the few could get through it. And I fucking did it. And then I became one of their best salespeople. And then I met my husband and then was like, fuck this. And like, I just kept
kept
transforming death,
going. Yeah.
neutrality, rebirth, death, neutrality, rebirth over and over again to the point where I can sit here, right? And that was just the vibe and the theme, and then left it all because sitting in a Whole Foods parking lot crying. Apparently, I got to write these stories about me crying in train stations and fucking Whole
You
Foods
do
parking
that.
lots.
Me too. I need
But
to know more.
well, like leaving corporate, being like, I can't do this. Like, I can't work for that. Like, I can't work for these things that I just feel are so wrong and so fake anymore. And going off
Oh,
and doing our own thing, and me and my husband having massive transformation. And now that's been 10 years looking back now and being like, and now I'm writing a fucking book about all this.
yeah.
This is my graduation. Like me sitting
Oh,
there
yeah.
looking at my
That's
work and
beautiful.
right,
Yeah.
looking at the last 16 years and being like, I fucking crushed it so that I could turn around and help now thousands, may I say millions, if millions can energetically feel my field and will pick up that book one day, help people with like it's a Capricorn spiritual business manual on how to
Yeah.
run your own soul purpose on the planet because you're fucking needed and what you're here to do is needed. So yeah, this is my graduation moment and like looking at the culmination of my work. So yeah,
Yeah. Celebrating you. Just
yeah,
amazing. Thank you for sharing this. I really loved it. It's literally like that's what is for a Capricorn to for a Pluto go to Capricorn. And we all felt it. And I can relate to the death and rebirth. And it's almost like an initiation into okay, what you're made of. For me, it
yeah.
was because my energy in a chart is I have all the planets in a lower part, which mean that my work's going to be mostly internal in life, and then I have that nurturing side and a north node in Cancer in my that's the only planet, the point actually, that I have like what the outer world can see of me. So I like there's a lot of transformation that happens
Mm,
on the inner plane, like internally, but I definitely went through it, like dark night of the soul after dark night of the soul, and then death and rebirth. And yeah, it's that like, what are you made of? And that
mm,
access, like I needed to access a lot of courage and strength and grit and power and understand what I'm made of in order to be who I want to be, because I do have that vision for me since I was very, very small, like the things I want to do, the people I want to help. Like
hmm
basically it's service-based dream and vision. Um, but in order to get there, I needed my relationships, I needed
hmm
trauma, obviously, if
hmm
my soul, like I needed the trauma. But so yeah, it does feel like a graduation. I feel very free.
hmm
Like once Capricorn, Pluto moved out of Capricorn, there was, I think, a lot of Capricorns maybe
Had
and
a
cardinal signs
deep
could
breath.
could feel like
Yeah,
oh my
yeah,
God, like because Pluto will grind out everything that is not necessarily. And sometimes you will want to hold on to believe
yeah,
family or for in my not like you need to let go of family, but there's certain dynamics that maybe are not helping you. So
totally.
there's a lot that goes into soul level because Pluto is our soul level dynamic, soul level, this subtle experience. It's a soul level that comes in, and we see all like sun moon signs. It expresses more on a visible level, but this Pluto carries a soul level intention. So when Pluto comes and takes something away or transforms, it's because your soul wants that and made that agreement when it came and incarnated into this. So that it also made me to learn surrender and trust on a whole new level. In that phrase of being held by life, like I learned to trust and relax into life because I was always in survival mode. No, let me know if I'm sharing too much,
No,
because
this is great.
I think a lot of people will relate, or maybe they're striving towards, or not striving, it's not even, it's relaxing more into life than
Mhm.
efforting and pushing, which still you can be very productive and all of those things. But there's this, I needed to trust the universe, trust life, that it's holding me in order to stay alive
Mhm.
sometimes.
Mhm. Mhm.
Okay, that's my story. A little bit, like a little surface. Like
No,
there's a lot of darkness. Yeah.
this is good because
Yeah.
I've written down like I feel like right now for many people, not everyone, but we're listening to this podcast and this is what's alive in me and you, and these are the topics. But
Yeah.
there feels like there are big activations to live right now. And what I mean by
Yeah.
that is I've been saying on my Friday strategy and support calls with the Soulpreneur Collective and my Biz Portal people. Um, I was like, I mean, I'll share it here. I think I'm a bit too
Yeah.
nervous to write like this just yet publicly, but this theme keeps coming to me of like, in my channel, it's like shit or get off the planet type of vibe. And I know a lot of people will be very triggered and offended by that, or that I'm being like too harsh, but it's for a lot of people on the planet right now, it's like align,
Yeah.
right? Evolve or fucking leave.
Yeah.
And and I mean that, and like not like you're not doing the thing, so you're gonna die. But it's like a lot of people did like preconception, kind of like have some shit they came here to do and we're going to do. And in their choice, they're continuing to stay in the delusion, to stay in the thing, to like not take the invitation to evolve or to
Yeah.
do what they came here to do. And I'm not saying it from like a school teacher sense. Like I'm not trying to be mean, but like it's
Know
almost
what you
too
mean?
big. The soul is too big for our brain to understand.
Oh, absolutely. We
You
can never
know?
fully understand our soul. That's what if we would do that, I don't think we would stay in human form.
Right.
But
Right.
we are an aspect of our soul living out creation. But I come, like, going back to what you said. Did I interrupt you? I'm
No.
sorry.
And
No.
just sorry, like also
Yeah, yeah.
I was making I was just because I don't know if you know this phrase, but I was like rephrasing a phrase in America, but it's like shit or get off the pot. Have you heard that phrase before?
I think I have, but
It basically is like do the thing or get off the toilet, please.
yeah,
So for me it became shit or get off the planet. Like do the fucking
yeah,
thing or you're leaving apparently. And I that people can hear that be like, "Oh, she sounds crazy," or "Oh, that's harsh." But for some people who have a soul contract to like do some shit, heal the thing, become the thing, like have the evolution, do that alchemizing process, and they're like, no, 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 no. I don't know. Shit's getting weird. You get what I'm saying?
I I know exactly what you're saying.
Great.
I have had conversations about this when I was thinking to myself, I sound really aggressive when I said, but I think when it comes down to, we are light warriors. There's a part of us, like some people will understand, some not. But we came here on a mission,
Mm,
and we understand like that mission, like that dynamic. Like I was born with it, like, and that's why we never, like, we, no matter what happens, we keep walking, like we get back up and we
yeah.
go. Like, and when we see a lot of people like who have the potential, but they just, and I used to say, this is lazy, this is why. If a person has the potential and they looking, but they are just not, I sometimes, yeah, it's, for me when I was younger, it was really hard to understand why everyone just doesn't get up and fight and go through the fears, look fears to the, like,
Yeah.
I was really confused because I have that dynamic in me and that's how I live. But because the earth is ascending, it doesn't want lazy people that is destroying themselves,
Mm,
destroying the planet, destroying
right.
everything in their way, and destroying the people that do the good. Why
Right.
want that? You
Right.
understand? So it's a natural, it's not even anger, it's a feeling of balance and justice. We need strength and courage and grit and light and power power in the sense that we work together, all of those things. Why would we bow down to someone that's spreading evil or laziness? So
Right.
that comes off a little bit angry
Yeah.
sometimes, because that's not anger, it's passion
Yeah.
to preserve, it's passion to grow,
Yes.
it's a passion for our children.
Yes.
Think about our children. I always feel like it's the biggest thing. Think about our children, and when that passion comes through against someone lazy, evil, or dark, or that wants to harm, God forbid, children, then yes, I will sound angry. So that's
Yeah.
that place. I understand where you come from, but I've had it since I was born. I was like, why are
Yeah.
you here? Why? This is our sacred planet. Why
Right.
are you here? You know, if
Right.
you are dark and small and you want to harm me and everybody else, why are you here?
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
that's kind of like in a light version of that, but it goes deeper for a lot of us, where we do our work behind like a lot of things that people don't see, and we take the higher road, but we do justice.
Mm-hmm.
And it's sometimes it's not love and light, it's not loving everyone. It
Yeah.
has like justice sometimes is a strong boundary, or a strong or really harsh truth reality saying to someone, or cutting them out of your life. These take so much courage and love also for yourself,
Yeah.
for others.
That
Okay, I
has
went on a
been,
rant again.
no, this is so
You know,
good. This is so good. Because that, like, love is harsh and true, and like everything that you just said.
fierce. Love is like
Fierce.
true love is fierce. It's not the wishy-washy light and love. Love, true, powerful love is fierce, and we need that on our planet. We
Right.
need the fierce love. We need that.
I
And
just
it's
wrote,
not going to bow
yeah.
down to anything that's not like it's not resonating in that frequency, to something like instead, like, sinister and all of those things. No, we don't need to turn all the cheeks to be slapped down and walked over as a, like, floor mats or whatever. Now I'm getting really passionate.
No, this is good. Because I want to say
Okay.
also, there's this whole angle of people that are experiencing life besides like how you and I are bringing up like actual fucked up shit that's going on, and people who are in that vibrational and are holding on to a level of darkness, right?
Yeah.
And like a low frequency and vibration that is not good for people on the planet, and right? But then there's this whole group who around the world who's like, everything's fine. No, everything's fine. No, no, no. Everything's fine. Like, right? And I'm like, oh my God, I think they're actually the scariest group of people right now, right? That are just
Yeah.
I mean, like, and I mean like that on every level, No, everything's fine in my country. No, everything's fine globally. No, everything's fine. You know what I mean? In my family. No, no, no. I don't have problems. I don't have addictions. The food is fine. Our health is fine. The planet's not burning. And everything's fine. And I'm like, oh my God. And I'm not trying to live in some like, lower vibrational realm that isn't joy. Like, no, I have fucking joy and I can experience joy too, but I can also sit in grief. And I can,
But it also it means you see reality for what it is. Like there's
yeah,
not bypassing, like it is scary. It is, it's, yeah, it's a little bit creepy if someone does bypasses everything and just pretends to live in that. That doesn't help either, even though they're not harming anyone. Yeah. But what you are saying, like, we doesn't have to fall down into the darkness. That's the hardest thing, is to look at all the things that are happening and then stand up in light and then do the work every day.
yes,
That's where the work is for everyone individually. And it's not an easy thing to do. It does get easier with time. You will have times when you are alone. That's your initiation. There's going to be void times. There's going to be times where you are challenged in relationships to like, there's going to be deep work, and often you'll do it on your own, and sometimes there will someone that will help you. But what it will it you have we have to open our eyes to what's happening and still hold that light and power in order to be able to experience joy and love and all of these things that are available on this planet. I don't think we have to shut them down and be just like, oh my God, in fear or in just denial or anything. I think we have to live as much as we can.
mhm.
From that, we fill our cup and we're able to help others and help to keep that frequency high. You know what I mean?
Amen. I'm gonna We need to, what's it called? The little clippy. We're gonna make a little clippy.
You know, Cliffy.
We're gonna make a little audio clip off that because that was fucking good,
Yeah,
right?
no, I'm like, I wasn't expecting, but I also was like, Spirit, let me deliver some things that will help people remember why we are here, why we came here, that there's so much hope and love.
Hmm.
And then there's so much goodness. We just have to be strong and dig deep and come together, talk about these things, heal
Hmm.
all of the good things. That there's so many good things happening also on a planet that is not shown on the news. Even though I see
Right.
more and more like alternative media and just people sharing like channels on YouTube or on, I look for those good. I post amazing news every day. Sometimes when I'm a little bit slightly depressed, I go on one of these channels and it's just good news, people
Yes.
helping,
Yep.
saving an animal. I was like, yeah,
Yeah.
okay, I need
Yeah.
this reminder because news, I don't watch news, but I imagine if I by passing by see something, as it's just it's now also ridiculous and sometimes just ridiculous, like to the point of that is hilarious. Not to take away, I never want to take away the pain and suffering of people involved, but just what they say sometimes
But the
is
media isn't representing that. Right. That's why it's laughable, right? That's why
it
it's
is
like it's
laughable.
an absolute joke because it's all programming. But also, I
Yeah,
agree with you, like the amount of amazing good things happening on the planet probably outweigh the bad things that are happening at this point.
but
And if
completely. That's why we're still, yeah.
I
So
think everyone who's listening to this and like I want to hear, don't you guys want to hear what she's watching? I want her to send me a link of what she's watching. And I think we need to spread this, guys. Like it's also like spreading, it's like there's enough people spreading the propaganda, spreading the bad shit, spreading what's actually
yeah,
happening and what's scaring them and what's worrying them in hopes to also change people's minds. And that's not how we get to change people's minds, is shove it down their throats, right? And share our ideals. There's different ways to do it, right? But
yeah.
also if we could share the fact that amazing things are happening. Like when I watch the youth and their inventions they're coming up with, I am
Mhm.
flabbergasted. I'm like, we're gonna be fine. I don't know. There's something in me that says like we're gonna be fine, even though I just came off saying nothing's fine, everything's fine, everything's not fine, and we're in
Well, it,
this transformational tunnel together. And I feel like this goes back to soul purpose. How many of us here have amazing things inside of us that need to come out of us so that we can, that frequency that locks in, right, is part of,
yeah,
besides your invention, besides your book, besides your muffin shop, it's a frequency that emanates from you and it becomes
exactly.
magnetic to those who need your stuff. We have, like, this is marketing, it's fucking soul purpose marketing. You have solutions to people's problems. And people like me are here to get them the fuck out of you and into the world, right?
Yeah, you're incredible, like amazing, like to be working. Like it's just like the best thing ever. Like just you make it really simple and you make it fun. Like I've told you this before, the way I still have a lot of things that so I will keep working with you for as long as I don't know, for as long as I can. And yeah, it's exciting to work with you because you put it in a really easy perspective because I also have ADHD. So that's another kind of dynamic I have to deal with. So I love the way you put my work into structure and being to bring it through.
You know, I'm writing this down, guys. This is how you capture testimony in the moment. I'm capturing this as fast as I can as it coming down to her. I'll have to go back to the replay, but
Yeah.
thank you because I love the testimony that always flows through you. Wait, can I say one more thing before we move on? Because this has also turned into the craziest episode
Yeah.
ever of the most intense subjects, LOL.
Yeah.
Um, we're always like, I don't know, we'll see what happens. Before we hit record, and then I'm like, oh my God, what am I gonna title this episode? Because like I don't even know where to start. Okay, wait, one
Love
more
it.
thing is that the way I've been writing about and explaining about this and what I'm now being the next book that's coming through me is called, which I made a 7-day mini training around. Um, but it's like this idea of like understanding the divine design of soul purpose. So it's like a deeper thing. It's not the business manual, it's a deeper understanding of like the spiritual
Yeah.
human aspects of like being a fucking bridge between heaven and earth. Casual book, guys. Can't wait to write that one. God help me. Anyways,
God is always helping you. That's why you are doing all the things. That's what we both are doing. Yeah.
This like it's like this idea there will be a whole chapter dedicated to understanding the Sacred Heart, right? And that it's like the heart is the ascension tool, and it is a tool of the
Yeah.
future. It's a tool of the now. And those of us that are activating in their Sacred Heart, that are using this as a tool, that are able to see, it's like not even able to see with the heart, but it's like the cracking open of your heart over and over and over again, and repairing in that heart and letting the light, letting out what needs to go, letting the light in is the way of the future.
I'm just
And
goosebumps everywhere when you speak. Like,
ooh,
yeah.
right? And it's like it may sound casual. Not that that sounded casual,
It
but
doesn't sound casual. It sounds divine. It's actually exactly
yes.
what it's supposed to sound. It does
Yes.
sound that. Yeah.
Yeah, right. This divine. It's like, so the breaking open, because some people are like, they'll say to me, and I don't want to bring up specific topics right now, but they're like, how can you still watch? How are you watching that right now? Like, that's too intense. And I'm like, because I have a pathway on this planet to be the sacred witness to the truth and the reality of what is happening on this planet to people. I am fucking looking at it, and I'm not just looking at it, and I'm not just watching it. I'm transmuting it in my
Yeah.
heart. And that
Same.
is a divine role on this planet. And most motherfuckers can't handle it. And I understand that people can't look at what's happening because they are not willing to have their heart cracked open over
And
and over
broken.
and
Yeah.
broken over again so you can put it together and transmute this shit and change the energetic frequency on the fucking planet. That is a divine role. And most motherfuckers can't handle it. And I'm sorry for swearing, but this is some real shit. So I'm allowing my heart to be cracked open over and over and over again. And I am weeping for what we have collectively gotten ourselves to on this planet. And I am here to change this shit. So either get out of the fucking way, right? And go sit down and you're everything's fine. Or, oh, it's too, I can't. Great. You have your own path and that's cool. But there are millions of us that are doing this
But
work right
there's so many of us that, yeah, it made me like one, like just so emotional because it's so true. And I think the passion also comes because like it takes so much, like you're right, like the heartbreak is so profound, like every time to look openly like what's going on and then transmute it and then to work it, and then you feel like you're going insane sometimes because
now.
it's like it's a load, but then you also we also I think we are the same in that way, which is beautiful, so we can relate because sometimes it's like you're like I used to feel like, oh my God, is this me alone? Am I losing my mind? Am I doing this? Is this actually helping? But it is like when I talk to you, it makes so much sense. Like all these energies align. It's like, okay, this makes sense. So it's thank you. Thank you for what you said.
Well,
Okay.
what else do we have on this September?
I love so this is what I love. I love that we stay like share like two transits and then we go in. But I think this is our vibe. We go from like the Pluto retrograde, but this is also it all also goes together because I think it's perfectly goes together. But I just think I just compare some of the other astrology podcasts and then us going from like here the deepest depths of the existence, and I'm here for it like a million percent. Also, I want to ask you quickly the time, just how much, like how long are
Whatever.
you?
Whatever.
Okay, let's go over a few more transits then.
Okay.
So just like, oh, let's gather myself. It's from I almost started crying when you were saying like all the transmutation stuff, like because it's so real,
Mhm.
like it's so real. Anyway, so we have new moon in Virgo on September 3rd. I just don't know how to transition from like being like wide-eyed and almost crying. This is my way of transitioning. September 3rd, new moon. Anyway,
Oh, I love it. I love
okay.
this show. Also,
Yeah,
can
this
I
is
just say the feedback I get from people is that they say, I feel like I'm in the room on this with you guys on this podcast. So, like in these
yeah.
episodes and in my own episodes, people
Mhm.
say, I feel like I'm in the room with you.
Yeah,
So
that's
that's why
very
I like,
beautiful.
Yeah, it's good to hear that. Like that's what we were always
Yeah.
going for these episodes and for my episodes. I'm not trying to sound like some elitist, person. I'm
No.
like, no,
Oh,
this is
never.
how I am. I'm transparent, I'm
Yeah.
open, I get flared up, we get geeky. There's a lot where you're like getting to hang out in our little in our on the couch with us, you know?
Yeah, and I think it's me and you together, like I'm able to open up on such a really deep level, and it's beautiful for me. And if it helps others, like, oh my God, my heart is so happy if someone listens. It's okay. I feel like this is me. Like I relate to this. This is helping me because that's how when I reach out to someone like who has saved my life, or even listening to a podcast, like that's amazing. And those are the people that are the realest, that sit down
Yes.
and say, and that is real and down to earth and all of the things. And sometimes you can say the wrong thing or forget that the Uranus is until what year, but we are real.
Yeah.
And that's, I think there's magic in that, that we are here. It's magic that we're here. Anyways, so then let's go back. Let's
Yeah.
try to so the new moon in Virgo, also we are in a Virgo season, as in a background to all like of all of these events. So there's a bigger Virgo energy. So just touching a little bit on a Virgo season. It's beautiful, it's earthy. I think it's good that we have that energy, like with all of these big retrogrades happening and all of the August. So Sun entered Virgo on August 22nd, and it's going to be there until September 22nd. So we have this earthy energy, getting things organized, like separating like the what's useful from what's not, getting rid of the old habits, taking care of our bodies, of our minds, what of our health, like over everyday life, like putting in new structures. And then like this new moon is in Virgo sign, so it kind of aligns with this Virgo energy. It is opposite Saturn in retrograde, so there is an internal energy. There's organizing and deciphering and putting new intentions in place, but there's depth to it. What is really useful for me? What is really, and also, is this is this still what I truly, truly want? So over the next few days, you can go deeper into this. It can be about health, it can be about habits, it can be about your everyday structure. Are you happy with your routine? Because little things compound into success, or I wouldn't want to say failure, because I don't see things as failures. But if we set ourselves up like health wise and structure wise and routine wise and ritual wise for success, then that's what we most possibly will experience. So
Mm.
Virgo is beautiful for that. It's ruled by Mercury, and it has that really witty, clever side, but it's also Virgo energy is a master manifester. So it can take the idea and then go out in the world, because it's also earthy and it's materialistic. It's an earth sign, so it can take all these pieces from the real world, whether it's people, information, whatever it takes, and then manifest that into reality. So that's a
Mm.
beautiful energy. um, and opposite Saturn is going to make us look at things more seriously, of what we really need to let go for good. Like what we are just carrying, like what type of belief or story or a person or even a job. Like
Mhm.
if it's not working for you, it's like, okay, it's time to let it go. With that Saturn in opposition, it's going to be like in your face a little bit, but in a good way. So it can also bring a familiar pattern. Saturn, opposite to this new moon, we can see same stories, kind of old stories, feeling triggered the same way. So it's only for you to look at the things that where you're not free. So all the things that are triggering you are the places where you are not free yet. So look at those things and nourish yourself. Virgo is also about taking care of your health and the world, your everyday life around you. So Virgo takes care of that. So nourishing yourself with things and books and food and all of these things. Yeah.
Yeah, I love it.
Okay. And then like the few little, so Mars is squaring Neptune on the same day. Mars in Gemini squares Neptune in Pisces on that anaretic last degree. So there's kind of like this certain sense of urgency. Square is usually it's kind of a challenging aspect. But it also feels like a divine intervention. So it's like that Gemini energy, the active energy with the Neptune retrograde. So there's like, it can be something like, what's the big elephant in the room that needs to be addressed, so that whatever it can be whatever it can be in anybody's life, so that that path can open up. So what needs to be, I still go back to what needs to be let go,
Mhm.
even though it's a new moon and we set intentions and we let go a lot of the full moon. This moon with that Saturn opposite in Pisces will ask you to what's not no longer needed, so that those intentions can flourish. Yes?
I feel like that the Saturn and Pisces, did you say that was retrograde right now? Or
Yeah.
is that
Yeah,
Saturn and
Saturn in
Pisces
Pisces
is
is retrograde until November 15th. Yeah.
okay? That is another one because like that's our election time too. It's like that's another one of being like Saturn and Pisces retrograde right now. Oh, like Saturn and Pisces anyway.
Yeah.
Saturn Saturn and Pisces retrograde is really like that. I feel like those two are like like it doesn't feel right. What's it called when when it's like
Friction.
yeah, like the friction between those two because Pisces is like, yeah, man, rose-colored glasses. Like if we're not talking in its highest, holiest form, which is
Yeah.
divinity, right? The mystic, the mystical aspect of
Yeah.
Pisces, when it's not, let's say, it's like it's the everything's fine. And Saturn's here like, bitch, the fuck it is. Like
Yeah.
like with its checklist and its friggin' matching Saturn's got like matching glasses to its socks and it's the auditor, the gay
Yeah.
auditor that showed up, right? And it's got its checklist and he's like, "Honey, let us sit down and see what is up right
Yeah.
now," right? It's like it's got that kind of
I
vibe.
love your Saturn impersonation. Like it's the best moment. It's so far like one of the best moments. Like the gay accountant with that
Yes.
voice, with that accent was like the highlight of my day. Go on. Okay. What's his name?
I
What's
don't
his name?
know. What should we name
Arnold. Arnold.
Arnold? Arnold
Arnold.
the gay accountant, right? With his checklist, he's got his brand new car outside, but it's like maybe it's a electric car. And
Yeah.
his socks definitely match his glasses.
Yeah.
And he likes, his he has summer trips to Ibiza. To his like, party. He's
Yeah.
got that moment where he goes in,
Alone.
has like party, he has like his party moment and he has his like
Oh
unwind.
yeah. Oh
But other
yeah.
than that, he's like, this is a mess.
Yeah.
Let's fix this up, And like for our country, I'm just speaking for America right now.
Yeah.
My God, we need Saturn and Pisces right now. It's like
Yeah.
that accountant facing all this delusion. It's like we're looking at the amount of delusional, fanatical fantasy. Those are all like, let's say, shadow aspects of Pisces, would you say?
Very much so. Delusion. Yeah. Escape. Not wanting to face reality. Not wanting to face what is. Yeah.
Mhm.
Definitely. And I love how you describe it. That's exactly what it is. Looking at the things and also Neptune being in the last degree. I think everyone's just delusion is at its highest when it's on that lower frequency, when
Yeah.
Neptune is in Pisces. In the best frequency, we transcend the reality and can see the perspective. We still are here, but we are like like that saying, be in the world but not of it. You know what I mean? Because there is a
Mm.
distinction when you are
Mhm.
one of the crowd, and then you are that one person, or not even one person. There's you have the ability to zoom out and see, yes, we incarnated here, yes, we're doing our job, yes, we're able to have a perspective on life. And that, I think, it's so healthy for more and more people to wake up to that level of awareness, where we can have conversations that will actually help our humanity and our children and all of us to move forward, instead of being at each other's throats for something that is so incredibly insidious and ridiculous that I can't even look at it sometimes,
Mhm.
because it's so like it's ridiculous. So people don't have perspective because they're lost in a
Right.
one branch of like some kind of delusion. And
Yeah.
that's Pisces low. That's Pisces low frequency Pisces. Yeah.
Oh, okay. I would say to transition through this, because we have brought up so many intense, like, right,
Very.
what's going on. And thank God we are grounded with this Virgo energy, right? Like, you guys can
Yeah.
feel that. Like, thank God we've got some, like, earth signs to help ground us. And I always remind people you're on planet Earth, who has a really high intelligence and has a really high vibrational consciousness. And Mother Earth is always there for you, Gaia, whatever you want to call her, that crystalline core
Yeah.
energy you can tap into any single moment of any day. I suggest people tap into that, because if you're looking to be anchored into a truth, or into just like being anchored at all, like the vibration
Yeah.
of being
Grounded.
anchored, ground into her. She's available to you. But why don't we give, what would you give as advice to someone who's listening to this and going like, oh my God, yeah, I feel all this. Like, this is happening in my job right now. This is happening in my family right now. This is happening to me in soul purpose. Like, what's advice that we can give to people, these star seeds, these earth dwellers, these amazing people that came here during this time to be bridges between heaven and earth through the most transformational period in human history? You know, I'm saying this and I'm seeing this out there in the world in astrology and energy reports, like, and I've been writing about this for a while because I can feel we're at the beginning stages of the largest awakening in consciousness we've ever seen in the human
Yeah.
history, ever,
Hmm.
ever.
Yeah.
Right? This is a beautiful fucking time to actually be alive. It
Mhm.
doesn't feel it, maybe, right? But it's a
But
beautiful
it
time
does
to
feel
be
it
here.
sometimes when you can tune, when you just like, there are more and more days when and we need to feel that. We need to feel that frequency because then we can go out and be soldiers for the light and
Yes.
for the future. So yeah, I did sometimes I do interrupt you and I
No, I don't
apologize.
care.
Yeah, okay.
No, I don't care. It's good.
So
What
you
what
asked the question.
advice? What advice would you
Right.
give to someone right now?
So what comes to mind? Like I would say disconnect from anything that you internally feel intuitively doesn't serve you. Whether it's, I will start with simple things: social media, toxic friendship, family, work, anything that drains you down. You need your energy. The more you can have your energy with you, fill it up, heal it, infuse it with light. Meditation, I spend a lot of time on my own because I'm a hermit anyways, but that has given me incredible luxury. I have that luxury, but I also created it for myself: luxury and time and space to
Mhm.
feel life, to feel myself, to listen to my energy and intuition. I honor it. It's sacred for me, my space and time and connection with nature. I do the rituals that, and going back to Virgo themes, simple things, waking up, little simple things. I wake up and I go straight out the door, go in the sun. Or when it's summer, well, I still go out, connect to nature. I sit down, clear my energy. I talk to spirit. Like, what are we doing today? These simple things, like the rituals. And I love that it's beautifully going with the Virgo new moon and Virgo theme. Find people that like make you like through podcast or anything. I'm hearing something through the find people to listen to or watch or books that make you remember why you are here. It's gonna be a specific feeling of joy and relief. Oh, this is me. Tune into
Yeah.
those more than to consciously choose. These are not big things. These are the little things, but if we compound them over time, this will change your life. Meditation, yoga, when you can do, choose whatever works for you, but listen to your intuition. Listen, take time for you. We don't need to be lost into people all the time or lost in Netflix.
Yeah.
Spend time. Sit in silence. I sit in silence and look outside the window because I need to hear my heart and my soul,
Mm.
and I like to hear it. And before I did, but I've done a lot of work on clearing a lot of things and working with shame and guilt and all of the things that we can carry as from our families or from our past, and sitting with that. And then I cleared space up to live my life, and there's sacredness and beauty and peace. And that's a good place to start. That's a good place to be in order to build something and
Mhm.
connect. Does that
That,
give
that was
you?
beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. I think a lot of people need to hear that.
Yeah.
And can I say, a lot of people, and I don't know if our listeners are like that. I think we have a lot of listeners who would agree and probably are yearning for what you just said, or are ready for what you just said,
Yeah.
or are already doing what you just said. And I hope this frequency emanates out to people who can't sit with themselves and they can't sit in silence.
Yes, because
And
you will need it more. Yeah, they
yeah,
will need
or
it
they
more.
need something constant. They need to be with other people, or constant. They need to be listening to something because they can't sit with their own thoughts, and they can't sit with their own body, and they can't sit still. So, people like you and I that can do it, and any of our listeners here, can you guys please all understand how powerful it is for us to do that? And to create an energetic permission slip for others to do it, because that right there in itself is
Yeah,
the work.
exactly.
And it sounds simple and it sounds luxurious, but it's actually, I could imagine it's taking you 16 fucking years to be
It's
able
taken me literally deep, like dark nights of the soul, one after another. I would say 16 years of that.
yeah.
16 years of like, there were years that I couldn't look at. There were years that the pain was too much that I needed to escape. Then I escaped into very underworld kind of ways that I needed to reach my boundaries. I needed to push myself almost to death and things like that. But I am also a little bit of an extremist, and I can't do that anymore because I saw how far I can push myself. But I needed to go there in order
Mhm.
to realize who I am and what I'm made of going back. And not everyone's journey is going to be like so extreme and maybe so challenging, because it doesn't have to be. It doesn't have to be. Whatever, whoever's you listening, if you're struggling through sitting with your emotions, it doesn't have to be mine at all. It can be a lot softer. It can be going reaching out for help, asking someone if it's a therapist or a healer. I have my own healer who helps me also hold these
Mhm.
emotions and work with me through, but yes, I definitely would say it doesn't happen to you just while you're sitting at the TV. No, it doesn't.
Mm.
You participate and you make a choice. It's about choice. It's about responsibility. It's about taking accountability as
Yeah.
well for your choices, for your own life. That's where the power comes from, because when we take responsibility for everything that has happened, even though we some things, like when we incarnated, if we zoom out a little bit on a soul level, we made these choices and these agreements with everything that happened,
Mm.
because it happened. That's the truth. Whatever has happened already happened in your life. You can't change it, but you can change the story. Like, you can let go of the really heavy, like the suffering, like, so the pain. So I love Peter Crone. I've learned so much. So the pain is real, but the suffering is optional. So what
Mm.
happens, it's our perspective and how we carry stories from when we are children until now, which inform our life. We
Mhm.
basically are imprinted with either trauma or better or worse experiences, and they have informed us. Most people are informed by that and they live it out. And
Mm.
you can see it quite obviously if you
Mhm.
really listen to someone. So changing that story, changing the story, you actually can change in a way the past, because you don't have to look at it as this kind of dramatic or painful event. Am I making sense so far?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah.
You can learn the lessons, you can understand, you can accept. There's a lot of acceptance that happened in my work, a lot of
Mm.
self-acceptance and self-love. I still to this day say, like, it's one of my practices, because I had a very low self-esteem and it got worse when I was in a specific relationship and abuse. I still tell myself to, like, I'm still having this practice. I love you. Like, you're having a bad day. I love you. I love you. I
Mm.
love you. So I tell that to myself. That's one of the small things that I'm doing at the moment. So there's a little spirit will guide you or you through everything if you just listen. That's
Mm.
it. Very
Oof.
guide you.
That was like curtain down, curtain, mic drop, curtain down.
That's all I have to say today. Goodbye, folks. Sorry, I don't know what to say. Today is Sunday. This is our Sunday.
This is a sacred Sunday. Listen, you know what? I've been recording podcasts on Sundays and just like by myself because it comes through. I'm like, Sunday's a sacred day for me to
Yeah.
channel. Like my channel will open up and I'll just sit here close to the microphone with my headphones on and be like, "Brrrr." I'm like, oh
Yeah.
my God, this like Sunday energy. This is like the third Sunday in a row I recorded.
I love that.
Oh, okay. I would say because you crushed everything, and I agree. Like I just love everything you just said, and it's so important. The only other thing I would say on my level, like advice wise,
Yeah.
be to it's gonna be so annoying, but I'm gonna just spend my whole lifetime saying this. Lean into soul purpose. You know, like for anyone, it's like this, I'm giving you a permission slip to spend some time on soul purpose. Like she
Yeah.
said, put down the phone, put down the TV remote, walk away from you. It's like family time. Everyone's sitting on their screens, looking and scrolling and watching TV. I'm sorry, that's not family time. Go in your room, get quiet, and open up to your channel and say, what would be of the best, highest, purest, most holiest service for me right now? And maybe those words are too much for you, but right, sitting with your spirit and being like, or if you don't know, you can ask those things. But if you do know what you're here to do, can you dedicate some time to it every day? Maybe it's only 5 minutes, maybe that builds to 10 minutes, maybe then it's 30 minutes every day for that book, for that community center you want to open, right? For that new food thing. We have so many innovations and inventions and things that we need. We have so many stories we need to hear from people. We need circles, we need community, we need new ways of living, new ways of learning. We need, like, there's so much that we need, and you have a piece of it locked inside of you. And I'm here, and you are too, Ineza, to
Yeah.
help people bring that up into the light and bring it out. So look, my book, it's an ebook. I'm gonna keep plugging this. I can't wait till it's a fucking book link,
That's the
right?
whole,
I
you have to share it everywhere all the time, over and over,
because it's
all the things.
basically it's a fucking manual. Like it's a Capricorn manual that goes from soul to strategy. And the beginning chapters are all about you getting clear on like what soul purpose is, right? And then connecting to the spirit of your spirit, but to the spirit of the creation that's coming to you and through you. And when you realize you're not alone in this and you're on a team and you're part of a co-creation, it gets a little easier.
I do
Makes
love
it
this
not
part,
be,
the way you explain. Sorry to interrupt. Like
yeah,
it's so powerful for people that even would ask, like, so what is soap operas? How do I connect? You just responded it, and you have it in your book. And the way you explain it makes everything for me. It made everything make sense how it works. So also I'm like the part of not being alone, connecting to
yeah,
the spirit of your business. For me, that blew my mind. It changed everything, the way I feel. It changed the way I work because of you.
yes. Thank
Hmm.
you. Yes.
You're welcome.
Oh, I
You
love it. So, anyways, yeah, I just had, like going back through August and just a quick recap, like we literally had to face death and the worst trauma and the worst tragedy again. And I didn't think my family would be going through death and trauma and tragedy again 6 years later, but here we fucking are. And we were in it again. And you know what? I came out of it. I was like, this is not going to break me. And this isn't going to kill me. This is fucking activating me. This is firing me up even more. I thought I was fucking aligned to purpose 3 weeks ago. Hot damn. Am I a diggity dog? Like, watch the fuck out and get out of my way. Because now I've just been turbo boosted. Like, the
yeah,
launch pad is on and
I
my
can feel it.
rockets have been like, oh, like, like it's just here. And I'm like, this is what I mean. Like, there are so many people who are like, I am here to live and I am here to help live and I am here to help you other people live. And I'm saying that because there are so many people who don't want to be here right now. And there are
Yeah,
so many people that
that
are
is.
at their breaking point right now.
Yeah.
And I think those people find each other. And that's why your light is needed and your energy is needed and your frequency and your vibration and who you are is needed because there are many that are begging and dying for what you have inside of you to come out. And they don't even
Yeah.
know it yet. And you don't even know it yet. But I'm telling you, deep down somewhere in your soul, you do know. And it's that spark, that seed that you know is fucking there. And this is your remembrance. And this is your invitation to bring it out and bring it to life.
Oh, this is so
Ooh.
great. Like this was beautiful. Goosebumps again. This was like the best podcast so far. No, not the best. I can't say
I know
every.
this was good. This was good.
This was good. Like just even saying you reaching out to people, I think if I would be listening to you, even let's say 5 years ago, I would
Yeah.
be, oh my God, I'm home. And that I did
Mm,
find you about 5 years ago, but it's like it's in a different capacity now. We're working together. Uh, yeah.
yeah. All right.
Anyways, I'm
No, I think
sorry.
this is good. I think this wraps us up. This was definitely our
Yeah,
longest podcast, but I think these messages are so needed. And as
yeah.
the world turns, LOL, that used to be a what was it called? What were those show called? I know that it's called telenova in Spanish. Soap opera in English. Did you have those in Europe? Did they have soap operas in Europe back in the day in the 90s, 80s and 90s?
Yeah, well, once Soviet Union got out, like yeah, we got access to a lot of things. Not everything, like not, but like Spanish soap operas, then some American like the bar Cheers. Was it Cheers?
Yeah,
That we had
great.
that little thing here and there, and then more and more and more. Now we have everything.
Oh my
Like
God, I love it.
I'm from Latvia. I don't live there, but that's where
Latvia.
I'm. Yeah.
Yeah. No, you're holding down the fort in Portugal, baby.
I was sent here. I literally, like everywhere I'm sent in this really synchronous, what's the other, like synchronistic way. I'm just sent to these spots, even the way I move or where I live. It's just like, why am I here? And then after a while, I understand.
Mhm.
Like I'm there either to transmute or do a work, and I become. And that thing, when I read it over and over again, if you don't see the light around you, you are the light. And I remember
Mm,
it every time I go somewhere. It's like, oh, it feels a little dark, and people feel sad. Oh, I'm the light. Because I do
mm.
feel like, and more I can embody that and feel that and give that light to others and just smile and say good. Even going like walking around in the world, when we start to truly live in our bodies and in our hearts and in our who we are, in our purpose, that's also part of the purpose. We just emanate light and we spread goodness wherever we go, and we need that can be as simple as that.
Right. That's soul purpose. Right?
Yeah,
That's the simplest explanation of soul purpose.
yeah, being yourself, being you, and then like shining that light into the world, like that is the simplest way, and then you have levels where you can go.
Oh my God, I love this podcast. I can't wait to we're gonna put
Okay.
this up. All right. Happy Sunday, everyone. Happy September. Good God, if you made it through this whole podcast, we love you. This was
Yeah.
activations abound,
But yeah, so many. And for me personally as well, because I was like, okay, this was so perfect. I feel so activated right now.
right?
It's
Same.
so full of, but this happens like that's why I'm so grateful to do this video. And I said, like, I don't want to stop this no matter what, because there is energy that's helping me personally immensely. But I think also our energies fused together, they
Hmm.
have their own kind of purpose. If
Yeah.
you know what I mean, like
Yeah.
us talking together, there's another kind of channel that opens. And because I don't have this with anyone else, and I can't do it to this level on my own when I speak, it's only with you. So it's just really
Mm.
interesting.
Oh, you and I should have our human charts done together to see what channels open up.
I think Laura did it years ago. Like she didn't she said like a comment, but yeah, I might ask her.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So much love. Happy Sunday.
Okay.
I keep
Love
saying
you.
Sunday, but it's September. We're talking September. Happy September. Good. Go out into the world. I bless you all. Let's make it through the month and we'll see you. God knows what it will bring us, and we'll see you in October.
See you in October.
We'll see
Yeah.
you in Libra season. All right. So much
Okay,
love,
bye.
everyone.